Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. This is your English class and I am your teacher RABIA WAHEED. Today, unit number 3, written in March, a poem by William Wordsworth, an English poet, romantic poet of 18th century. Today, I'll dictate you the meanings of difficult words so that you may be able to get a better understanding of the poem, and then we will paraphrase it. Now, the very first word is cock. The second word, crowing. The third word is Twitter. The fourth word is small birds. The fifth word is lake. Now, cock means domestic fowl. Rooster, simply you may call it rooster, or cockerel. Cock basically means in very easy words, the male of the masculine of hen. Okay. Next is crowing. Crowing means squawk. A loud harsh sound of cock. Next word is twitter. Twitter means chirp, or you may say make repeated short high-pitched sounds. These are the sounds that birds make. They make repeated short high-pitched sounds, or you may easily say chirp. Small birds. These small birds, according to the poem, these are the birds that are cocktails, finches, canaries, parakeets, and last one is green-cheeked conures. These are the specific 5 small birds that are mentioned in this poem under the term of small birds. These 5 birds, they are different types of parrots, and they are famous for their colors. They are famous for their melodious songs and melodious, you may say, the melodious chirping. Lake. Lake means a large mass of water surrounded by land. This is called lake. Now the next verse. Number 6, glitter. Number 7 is whooping. Number 8 is NN. Number 9 is joy. And number 10 is mountain. Okay, glitter. Glitter means shine, sparkle, whooping. Whooping means shouting, crying, yelling and calling. Anon. This word anon, it is old English word and now it is not spoken. It is archaic word and this is used for the meaning of this old English word in new English word is shortly, soon. This is an adverb, but now this word is not spoken. In poems, the poets have the poetic license to use even the old English words that are no more in use. Okay, joy, happiness, feeling of pleasure, delight. Next, mountain. Mountain means peak, height, now the next words. Number 11, fountain. Number 12, sailing. Number 13 word, grazing. Number 14, meadow. And number 15 is stream. Okay. Now the meaning of fountain. An ornamental structure in a pool or lake. In a pool or lake from which a jet or more, right, one or more jets of water are pumped into air, or you may call it spout. Okay, I'll raise it as there is no place for writing the meaning of this word, so I'll change the number. Okay, grazing. Grazing means feed on grass. Meadow means a large area, grassy area, large grassy area, especially one used for hay, or you may call it field or pasture. Meadow means a large grassy area, especially one used for hay, or you may call it a field or pasture. Stream, rivulet, or very easy word for it, a narrow river. Okay. Now the word number 15, sailing. Number 16, retreat. Sailing, here in this poem, the word sailing means moving. Otherwise, its meaning is to have travel on water, in a boat or in a ship. But here in this poem, the word sailing means moving. Moving or traveling smoothly. Okay. Retreat means withdraw or move back. 17 number word is fare ill. Here fare ill meaning is a specific movement in a specific period. A specific movement of something, or you may write it more clearly, a specific movement of something in a specific period. Okay. Now student, these are your words meanings, and now we will start our paraphrasing of the stanzas of the poem. These words meanings you have to write, you have to copy these words meaning in the same as I have written on the board. You have to write them on your neat copies. And now come to the stanzas of the poem. Before I start the paraphrasing of the stanzas of the poem, I have to tell you what is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is really a species of translation. It's a translation of a piece of poetry from a man's word into an other's word. It is the translation of a piece of poetry from a man's word to an other's word, to an other man's words in the same language. Means language remain the same. For example, the stanza that we will read now, that stanza is the words of the poet William Wordsworth. We will translate, we will expand, we will tell in detail that stanza, those words of the poet into our own words. So paraphrasing is translation of a man's words into an other man's words in the same language. Language remains the same. Now, in the poem that you are given, in the poem there are different stanzas, and in the stanzas there are verses, and in those verses the poet gives his viewpoint, his thoughts in a very concise way. He uses specific words, he uses his poetic license, he uses the rhythm, the poetic rhythm, and he uses a particular, you may say, the pattern of the words or the scheme of the verses. And in paraphrasing, when we do the paraphrasing, that is also called the translation. When we paraphrase those lines of those verses of the poem, in that paraphrasing, we translate those lines in very simple, in very detailed, and in very clear and direct language. In simple, direct, and clear English, we paraphrase, we translate, we expand, we tell in detail those lines of the poet that are very concise. We translate them in detail while doing our paraphrasing. Now, what are the uses of paraphrasing? There are two main uses of paraphrasing. There are uses of paraphrasing that are mainly two. The one is, the paraphrasing is a good test. It is a test of students' ability to understand what he reads. And it is the second, the use of paraphrasing is, and that is, it develops in student a valuable method of explanation. Means while doing paraphrasing, a student learns how to explain the piece of poetry or piece of prose in simple, detailed, expanded, and direct and clear English. So these are the two uses that are the, you may say, the outcome, or that are the result of paraphrasing. Number one, the understanding of the piece of writing, and number two, the ability of, you may say, the ability of explaining something in detail. Now these are the uses of paraphrasing. Now we will start our paraphrasing, and from the poem I'll read the lesson, I read the stanza. Number one stanza. Okay, first of all, you will now look at your books while listening to my lecture. This poem is not divided typically in form of stanzas. For example, if you remember, in your 7th class, you have read the poem Blessings of Allah, and you have also read the poem The Equine Green. In those poems, there were pet stanzas. In Blessing of Allah, there were 6 stanzas. But in this poem, there is not a pet division of stanzas. In this poem, all the lines, they have been written in a sequence and there is no division of 4 lines or 6 lines. But we will divide this poem into 2 stanzas on the base of the thought. The first stanza, very attentively listen to this, the first stanza consists of 10 lines. Till the 10th line, the first stanza gets completed. Now I'll start reading the first stanza. The cock is crowing, the stream is flowing, the small birds twitter, the lake doth glitter, the green field sleeps in the sun. The oldest and youngest are at work with the strongest. The cattle are grazing, their heads never raising. There are 40 feeding like one. Here, first stanza gets completed. This is the 10th line where just one thought is conveyed. Now, in the remaining lines, the thought gets little bit changed. Now, the paraphrasing of the first stanza. You may say in these lines or in the given lines, in the given extract, you may write anything. In these lines, the poet says, a thing that is also important to tell you while doing paraphrasing, that I have already told you, that is a translation. While doing the paraphrasing, you have not to change the thought. You have to just expand those lines. You have to tell those lines in detail, in simple, clear and direct English. You have to tell those lines, you have to explain those lines in detail. But you will not change the thought. The thought will remain the same as is conveyed by the poet in his verse, in his poem. Now, in these lines, the poet, here we will mention the name of the poet, William Wordsworth, is talking about the arrival of the spring season. The poet says that the cock is crowing, there is water flowing speedily in the stream. As all of you know that it is the season, spring season is arriving, and the melt on, and the snow on the, you may say the mountains, that is getting melted, and due to that melting of the snow, there is water in the streams, in the rivers, in the lakes. There is water flowing speedily in the stream. The small birds, here you will not mention the names of the birds. You will simply say the small birds. The small birds are chirping and singing melodiously. The lake doth glitter. The water of the lake is shining. Why is it shining? Due to sunshine. Now it is understood. The poet has not mentioned that the water of the lake is shining and because of the sun. We have, it is shining. Now we have to, you may say that, imagine, or we have to infer by ourselves that the water of the lake is shining, is sparkling, glittering because of the sunshine. Although he has used the word sun in the next line, and that will also, we will relate this word sun with this line too. Now the line, the green field sleeps in the sun. Here I will start. And the green fields are full of grass. They seem to enjoy to take rest and bask. Bask means to take a sun bath and bask in the sun. As now there is spring season, the snow that has covered the whole area of land, that has, you may say, the snow has withdrawn, and that has moved back, and now the green grass that has grown, and now there is greenery all around, and in the sun that was not rising in the, you may say that was rising, but it was covered with the clouds, and there was not sunshine in the winter season. But now there is a very pleasant sunshine, and there are the fields that are full of lush green grass, and they are seeming to get enjoyed, to take rest, to bask in the sunshine. These are the just first 6 lines. Still stanza is not completed. It will get complete till the 10th line. The oldest and youngest are at work with the strongest. All the young and old people are busy in their activities and works with full energy, with full energy and strength. They are completely, you may say, involved in their work. They are so much concentrated that they are not raising their heads. They are not raising their heads. This line is relating to, I'll again read from the book. The oldest and youngest are at work with the strongest. Their heads never raising. This line is relating to the previous 2 lines. They are not raising their head means they are so much busy in their work that they don't have time to raise their head. Now the last lines, the cattle are grazing, there are 40 feeding like one. The cattle are grazing. The cattle, the sheep are eating the grass. They seem to be one. They seem to be one entity rather than a group of 40. The fields are so full of grass. There is